All right. Ken Winston here for Fantheon Sports, coming at you tonight live. This is our first stream, so it's probably going to be a total shit show. That being said, I've got the Warriors game on in the background. For you guys at home who don't know how to watch it, Google and Reddit are your friends. That's all I'm going to say on that. Maybe just try looking on Reddit. Maybe you'll find an answer or two. But they're out there. So if you want to watch along, go for it. Really, though, what I want to talk about is some NFL stuff going on and anything else that you guys want to talk about, even though I'm pretty sure no one else will be here but me, and I am fine with that. Just for this first one, kind of nervous. So a few things I want to talk about. Some of these coaching vacancies coming up. First one, turn this volume down a little bit. First one that I've kind of been thinking about a lot today that I think would be a great idea, or at least a fun idea for the NFL, will be if someone took a chance on Mike Leach. And I know Sports Illustrated, well, after I thought about it, I looked it up to see, make sure I wasn't stealing the idea, and I haven't read a Sports Illustrated in 15 years, so when I went to their website, and they had listed him as their number one, but I actually came up with a team that I'd like to see him go to. And I think he'd be great with the Dolphins. The reason why I think that is, A, because they're pretty irrelevant right now. Middle of the road team. They have been a middle of the road team for a while. Actually, let's go look at their record. When was the last time the Dolphins were actually won a playoff game? It's had to have been. There's no way it can go back to Dan Marino years, can it? Well, anyway, doesn't really matter. But as far as the reason why I want Mike Leach to go there, I just think it'll be exciting to see if he can actually turn Tannehill into something. They've already got $13 million in dead cap space with the Ndamukong Suh contract still in the books. I think that goes through next year, 2019, if they release or trade Tannehill, they have another $13 cap hit of dead money. There's no way they're going to have 15 to 20% of their cap just dead money. Even the Dolphins aren't that inept. So some of the advantages I think that getting Leach in there will do is, well, A, he knows how to throw the ball. He knows how to maximize the ability of his quarterbacks. He gets the most out of them. I mean, I've lived in the Northwest most of my life. I've seen him coach in Pullman for the last 10 years. Or seen some Cougar games, at least, for the last 10 years. Saw him at Texas Tech. And none of those guys were... I mean, does he even recruit? Do we have any Leach people out there who know? I couldn't imagine him recruiting a player, other than maybe just sending him a text message. I think that was the story behind what's his name now? Gardner Minshew. He just sent him a message saying, "How do you want to lead how do you want to lead the country in passing, or how do you feel about leading the country in passing next year?" So he feels pretty laid back on that. So he's used to not working with top shelf talent, top tier talent. So I think that if you're Miami, you might as well just take a shot. Because you know you got at least a couple years to figure this out. And what's the worst that's going to happen? You bottom out and you get a top pick. You fire your coach. I mean, that's going to be the right run anyway. With Tannehill, you've already done as much as you can to maximize what he's got. You brought in. God, didn't they bring in this college coach? What was that guy's name? He came from Texas A&M. He was a coach for the Packers. I can see him with Mike Sherman. They brought him in. They tried him. They brought in Adam Gase, a quote-unquote quarterback whisperer. Brought him in. Didn't work. So they've gone the conventional route. It hasn't worked. My one concern if I were the Dolphins and making the move to Mike Leach would just be how viable would it be to have a team that's throwing the ball 50, 60, 70 times a game, even to protect the lead. But at this point, might as well give it a shot. All you have to lose are some games and maybe get a top pick. Who knows? Maybe you win 11 games. Maybe have a little bit of excitement in the team. You'll definitely get some good quotes. Mike Leach has kind of been known for saying some interesting things, little off color sometimes, but he's usually pretty entertaining. So, yeah, as far as the Dolphins go, they have nothing to lose. They don't play defense as it is anyway. They gave up the second most points in their division. Let's see here. So, Miami Dolphins history. Hope you guys are enjoying this dead air. Ew. Didn't mean to go there. Don't go to whitehouse.com. All right, let's see. Miami Dolphins. Or do. Go to whitehouse.com. All right. Last time they won a playoff game. Ugh. 2016, they lost. Oh my God. $30-12 to the Steelers. Nice. Antonio Brown, 50-yard pass. Antonio Brown, 60-yard pass. Frank's field goal. Damian Williams caught a pass and pass failed. Let's see here. Lost wild card. There's no way they got the bye in 2000. Let's go take a look though. 2000 Miami Dolphins. 18 years ago. Jay Fiedler. Nice. Matt Turk. I think he's still playing. Oh, wow. Yeah, so it looks like their last playoff win, 2000, they won 12-5 against the Colts in overtime. Oh, wait, excuse me. Fucking high. They won in overtime. 23-17. Vanderjack, Jerome Pathan. Must have been sober. Vanderjack hit a 50-yard field goal. See some stat lines here. That was Jay Fiedler, 19-34, 185 yards, 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions. Winning quarterback. Beat out Peyton Manning, 17-32, 194 yards and a touchdown. Edgerrin James had 107 yards. Lamar Smith, there it is. 40 carries, 209 yards, 2 touchdowns. And yeah. So I guess the point is it's been a while. It's been a while since the Dolphins have been I wouldn't even say competitive because they've been competitive. They are just not. So they went 10-6. They went 11-5 in 2008. Lost in the wild card game. 27-9 to Baltimore. That was Chad Pennington here. Hey. So after their run of success from 97 to 2001, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years. Then they lost in the wild card, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years they lost in the wild card. So at the rate they're going, they have about 6 more years before they have another wild card weekend loss. So might as well just swing for the fences. Sign Mike Leach. Throw the ball 50 times. Give him 2 years. See what he can do with Tannehill. And then if it doesn't work out in 2 years, you can walk away from Tannehill. Probably have... I mean, if they really blow it next year, if they really bottom out next year, they could probably draft a quarterback early, give Tannehill one more try. I think then they could walk away without any dead money on their cap. What a depressing franchise for a team that the only undefeated record in NFL history. All right, enough of that. Sign Mike Leach. At least do it for the local community. Drum up some interest. Give them some funny interviews. Let them learn a thing or two about pirates. I think that'll make everybody happy. All right. I haven't really paid too much attention to basketball so far this year. I've been way too wrapped up. Way too wrapped up in the NFL. It looks like Golden State, Houston are in kind of a good game. I watched part of that first game. I was actually kind of excited to see it. I just wanted to see the mid-range game of the San Antonio Spurs. They're kind of bucking convention and avoiding the extreme polls that everyone else is going for. The three in the paint. And they looked good. It was a rout. The game was very close. I kind of stopped watching after the first half. All right, so moving on. Miami Dolphins. Hire Mike Leach. Let it rip. See what you got. He can maximize weak talent. He tries to scheme. I'm sure 2 years it'll be a disaster. The wheels will come off. He'll be back in college. But you're not doing anything. You're not hiring your next great coach this year anyway. Might as well make it interesting. Bottom out. Get a quarterback. Rebuild it. Get all the dead money off your cap. Move from there. As far as... Nope. Harden's down. I think he strained the beard. He's practicing his kegels. All right, so as far as the other NFL coaching goes, I think that the reason why I say the Dolphins too is I don't think you want the Jets or the Browns potentially having their quarterback development slowed. And I just don't think you risk that with Miami. So I think the Jets and the Browns have to think more long term. Ideally, they're going to find a guy who they're going to think can be successful enough to be at least the next 8 years as their coach. That'll get you through like the growing pains of the second year, and then hopefully they'll kind of both rise together. Who those candidates can be? I believe the offensive coordinator from the Vikings just interviewed, not the one that got fired, but the one that took his place. I think he was just interviewed by Cleveland. I don't even know what the Jets are doing. I think they accidentally re-interviewed Todd Bowles, but that could just be a joke. I don't know. According to something I just made up on the spot. Let's see. Kevin Stefanski. Sounds like another Chedinsky or whatever that guy's name was. But I do know that when I think was it Schumer went to the Giants, really wanted him to come with him. And Minnesota wouldn't let him. I think he's actually kind of one of the up and comers. So he might be a good candidate. Oh God. What do you guys think about Brian Kelly on the Bucks radar? Vance Joseph is interviewing with Cincinnati. That was kind of an interesting call. I just feel like the coaches now have to be a little bit more aggressive. And that fourth down call he had a couple weeks ago where he kicked the field goal and played to get the ball back, and his defense just doesn't seem like it was that good. And they're kind of beat up. For him to be relying on his defense to step up and get him the ball back, I just felt like they should have gone for it then. And I think that everyone in the crowd knew it. Browns are on their 9th full-time head coach since 1999. Let's see. Greg Williams, Bounty Gate Man. That'd be pretty funny, actually. Jim Caldwell interviewed. Dan Campbell. Mike McCarthy. Wow, that's crazy. I mean, maybe a good deal for them would just be to stay the course for one more year. If they think that, and let Kitchens kind of see, because obviously Baker Mayfield has some success. He probably should be Rookie of the Year, honestly. Just look at the difference in that team when he was actually inserted into the starting lineup. So maybe a team like that, if they think that coach, that especially specifically that offensive coordinator has a good rapport with him, maybe making him the head coach might be a little rash, but let Greg Williams stick around for a year, have that defensive-minded head coach to round out that young defense. Keep your offensive coordinator to help round out that offense and see if that works. And then if it doesn't, you fire them both next year, or you fire one and promote the other. Because I don't know. Greg Williams is long-term coach. Just doesn't seem viable. But let's see. Where did Greg Williams coach? Wasn't it? God, even his picture on Football Reference just makes him look kind of under the table evil. So 3 years at Buffalo in the early 2000s. He went 3-13, 8-8, 6-10. It's funny that they track. It's funny that they track challenge results. I like that. That first year, he was zealous with the challenges. Challenge 11, won 3. Next year, he won 3 again, but only challenged 6 times. Got a little gun shy. 2003, 1 for 7. This year, he's 1 for 1. Yeah, I don't know. I'd like to hear what some of the fans think on these of these franchises. The Jets one I think could be kind of an interesting one too. I think they're low key a good option. Green Bay, it'll be an interesting one. I think Green Bay is a team that probably should get an established coach, someone who's coached before. Who that is, I don't really know. Let's see who's on there. Green Bay coach rumors. Let's take a look here and see. Jim Caldwell again. Adam Gase. Jim Caldwell. Jim Schwartz. Mike Munchak. My God. Vic Fangio. Pat Fitzgerald. I think he's a college lifer. He's already turned down. This is from, let's see, LombardiAv.com. Packers ranking top 10 head coach candidates. by Evan Siegel 2 days ago. He's got Fitzgerald as their number 5. Pat Fitzgerald has turned down numerous requests by NFL teams for an interview. He has brought Northwestern into prominence in college ranks and has reportedly been connected with the Packers during the early goings of their head coaching shopping spree, with Adam Schefter of ESPN reporting that the team is expected to request an interview. He led Northwestern to a Big Ten Western Division title this past season. Has 95-70 as a coach. Man, I can't believe he's been there for 12 years. Shown a rare amount of loyalty to the program. Yeah, I think he's going to be kind of like the Mark Few of college. Eric Bieniemy, that's such an interesting name. He was a running back in Colorado when I was young, first really started paying attention to football. I believe it was in the national title game when I really got the first time I watched them play, and I swore to God that the announcer was calling him the enemy. And I was like, man, I thought they were supposed to be impartial. Eric the enemy. If the Packers are looking to hire an offensive-minded head coach, which I think they should, I think they should look for someone who's been a coach before. Just try to squeeze some life out of these last 4 years. They don't have enough time to have a guy learning on the job. But let's see. Coach will provide a team with more offense than it has in recent years. Bieniemy should be their man. As offense coordinator for the Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes threw for 50 touchdowns. Did Andy Reid go back to calling plays this year? Man, he actually might be a good choice for the Jets. New York might be kind of a tough first job for someone coming out of Colorado and Kansas City, maybe Cleveland. John Harbaugh, they would have to trade for him. I know that was a rumor going around for a while. Josh McDaniels, nope. Bruce Arians, okay. That one, I think that one actually might be a good fit, because I think that's two guys who are going to be close to the end of their careers and want to win games. Bruce Arians isn't the guy that's going to be around for 10 years. You know that in 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, when Aaron Rodgers is toast and bottoming out, your coach is probably going to retire and you get to start from scratch. Most teams don't get as lucky as Green Bay did that first time by having an all-world quarterback and then having another all-world quarterback. Unless you're Indianapolis Colts, it just doesn't happen that often. So I think that's something that they should really look at. Yeah, I just can't see Pat Fitzgerald leaving Northwestern. If he hasn't left yet. Pete Carroll. Cowboy Stadium is an unusual place that feels like a nightclub. I've been there one time. The one time I was there, I swear there was 2 different live bands playing. And yeah, it was a great experience though. I will say Dallas fans were cool. I wonder if after this Saturday night, if they're going to fire Jason Garrett immediately after the loss, or they're going to wait, give it like a couple days to let it sink in. I'll do my official picks here a little bit later. I came up with my own method for picking. It's going to be my own system. I think I'm going to try to use going forward. We'll see how well it worked. But stay tuned for that. And sorry for the rambling stream. Like I said, it's going to be the first one. And hopefully we'll grow it up a little bit. And this will be a place where people can kind of come on and yell at each other and argue about sports. The reason, I guess we should get into that a little bit. The reason why I want to do this is... Oh, see if you can hear my neighbors. I think they're doing it. The reason I want to do this, and I said kind of in the mission statement, is there's not nearly as many cool sports calling shows as there used to be when I was a kid. There were some great ones, and it's kind of fallen by the wayside now. You have, I mean, some of the ESPN shows, they're not horrible. and they do take callers, but they're all in like, you got 20 seconds, you got 30 seconds. You can say one thing and move on. And a lot of times I want to call them, but I want to talk to the other callers, and call them on their the stupid opinions, or give my stupid opinions, let them yell at me. And that used to be a place that you could at least do in like the comment section of articles and stuff. You were able to kind of go in, and I mean, after you get through all the racist bullshit, there could be some good sports debates going on. I mean, there are still some in forums and stuff, but it's not nearly as interactive. It's not as much fun. So hopefully this will be a forum for people to kind of come on, and I'll just kind of get to sit back and moderate a little bit and try to crack jokes and just have a good time. So that's kind of what we're thinking about. This is going to be, again, my name's Ken Winston. This is Fantheon Sports Live call-in show. And this first one is really just a practice run. Once I kind of get my feet wet and get a little bit more confidence doing this too, I'll try to promote it more and push it out there. And some other stuff like that. But right now I'm just kind of dicking around, looking at coaching candidates, stuff like that. And looking at some of the sports news going on in the world, while we also have, let's see here. We also got the Rockets and whatever they're called, the Warriors, on in the background. I'm going to minimize that screen, set up here a little bit more efficiently. Again, if you guys want to watch and you don't have cable, Google NBA Reddit. You're welcome. Shrink this one down. All right, and for those of you who find this stream somehow, don't ask me how you found it. I will never know. There is a link in the description, and you can go ahead. It'll take you to the rules and procedures section of the Discord channel, and from there you just have to join as a 12th man to say hello or something like that. And if you do, let's see here, and if you do make it in, just throw something in the chat, let me know you're here, and I'll make sure to get you on. Discord is pretty easy to use. You can use it on your phone too. I have a Google line set up for this, but I'm not going to put that number out for a while. I'm basically going to save that for dick pics. Let's see here. Kind of interested in, see what's going on in some of these other games. Sacramento, surprise team of the year. Golden State's up 12 entering the second quarter. Let's take a look. All right. All right, let's take a look here. All right. Just kind of messing around there. Sorry. Oh. Of these teams who are all looking for a coach, who do you think's in the worst position? Like which team? Eric Bieniemy already blah blah blah. It's got to be Denver, right? Because at least the Cardinals, you have the top pick. You have a guy that could potentially be a quarterback for 10 to 12 years. I don't know. I don't know how confident I would be uh in Josh Rosen. He looked pretty terrible all year long, but that team was just atrocious. But at least they have a high draft pick and they have their quarterback. And if somebody comes through the combine process, someone's going to want that number one pick. Or they just take Bosa and get an edge rusher. I still think that that's a team with so many holes that if they can move down 2 or 3 spots, they should do it. But unfortunately for them, if they do move down, it's probably going to be down to 6 with the Giants because I think everyone else directly behind them's already kind of got their quarterback locked up. So unless, like, I think if you're the Cardinals and you are dead set on trading that pick, if there's the best bet for you would be if there's only one quarterback emerge, it'd probably be Locke out of Missouri, or maybe what is it, Jones out of Duke. Kyler Murray maybe if he decides to play football, but I still feel like he's gonna be a mid-round pick just because people are gonna overvalue his lack of height, if that makes sense. So he might fall in that 7 to 15 range. I think that Lamar Jackson might shown enough in his brief appearances this year that someone will take a flyer on him before the end of round 1. Especially because there will be enough teams that'll like move up in the middle of the first round because it won't cost as much. So I think if you're the Cardinals and you want to move, you're hoping that there's one standout guy kind of drive up the price. But then if you're moving back past, that means those other teams behind you aren't going to be. They're not going to be dropping back either. So they're going to get the top non-quarterback players. You got the Cardinals at 1, San Francisco, the Jets, Oakland, maybe Oakland at 4. Maybe Oakland wants a quarterback. They're ready to move on from Carr. If I were them, this isn't the year I'd do that. I would wait till next year. This is the year. They've got 2 first-round picks. They got 4. And where else do they have? Probably okay. They get the Bears pick, so it'll be in the end of the first round. If I were them, I would just try to get as many other pieces as possible. So when that quarterback does come in, they'll be in a situation that like Baker Mayfield was in, basically a lot of young talent around him with a little bit of experience already. I think that'll make a world of difference because then you look at Baker versus Rosen just for their supporting cast. San Francisco's got Jimmy Garoppolo coming back. Even though I'm not sold on him as a quarterback, I think Shanahan's an amazing coach. At least for getting people open and getting the most out of his quarterback. So I'll take his word on it. Every time I watch Garoppolo play, it just looks like he's throwing the ball funny. Like he doesn't look like he has good footwork, good base. The ball kind of sails. But it seems like he makes the right reads. Third is the Jets. They got Darnold. Oakland, and 5th is Tampa. They said they're sticking with Jameis Winston, but who knows? So if you're the Giants, you at least might have to move to 3 just to get ahead of Oakland, just to be safe. So moving up 3 spots, isn't that what happened with the Colts last year? They moved down 3 spots with the Jets, and that was a pretty good amount of picks. Let's see here. Tennessee's got to figure it out too. They're at picking at 19. Minnesota's deciding Cousins. 17 Cleveland. 16's good with Carolina. Redskins at 15 might want to move up. Dolphins, again, they might. But if they do anything with Tannehill, they're going to have so much dead money on their cap. I think that they really should just sign a coach, take a swing for the fences. If it works out, great. If it doesn't work out, well, at least got some good quotes out of it. Cincinnati, 11. I could, depending on who they get for a coach, they might not want the Red Rocket. I wonder what his cap situation is looking like. Denver at 10. Buffalo set. Detroit set. Jacksonville at 7. So there might only be 2 quarterbacks coming out and like 5 or 6 teams that would be willing to move up. The Giants would have to get up. Like that whole idea that people think that a quarterback's going to follow the Giants at where they're sitting now is just not going to happen. Because someone's going to talk themselves into moving up for whatever quarterback's deemed the top quarterback. That would just be Golden State pulling away. Looks like they're starting to get the rhythm. I don't know why everyone's so upset about super teams in the NBA. If I were the NBA, I would retract 6 teams, just cut them out. There's too much filler in the league. It's way more exciting to watch good teams play night in, night out. They don't need to have a team in every region or in every city. Get rid of 4 teams to start. Cut out 2 from each conference. God, we can look at it right now. We can fix the NBA right now. Let's see, NBA standings. In the East, I'd get rid of the Hawks and the Magic. Maybe the Magic and the Hornets. So get rid of Charlotte, get rid of Orlando. I guess keep Atlanta, even though they're kind of a pathetic franchise. In the West, get rid of Memphis and New Orleans. And then you do a dispersal draft. And you pay whatever money you have to pay to the owners to make that happen. Now you have 4 less bad coaching staffs and 4 less. I mean, you free Kemba Walker, you free Anthony Davis, Holiday, Orlando would free the D League to get some more players. They're playing kind of well this year. Let's take a look at their roster. Sorry, this is going to be meandering. If anybody ever gets to see this, just a lot of wandering and talking. Mo Bamba. Oh, yeah, how's that guy doing? I have not watched any basketball. Are there Orlando fans? He started 1 game. He's playing almost 17 minutes a game. 46% from the field. 29% from 3. That's interesting. His free throw shooting is pretty atrocious. 55%. I was reading an article the other day saying that free throw percentage in college correlates better to 3-point shooting percentage in the NBA than people first realized. 4.9 rebounds, 1 assist, 1.4 blocks. Interesting. Who else does Orlando have? Mo Bamba. That's Briscoe. Aaron Gordon. Jerry Grant. I always liked him. Notre Dame. Man, this is a interesting team to say the least. DJ Augustin, Evan Fournier, Jonathan Simmons, Aaron Gordon, Nikola Vucevic. They're starters. How have they won 17 games? Oh my God. Steve Clifford. Well, yeah. Cut this team. They're definitely a goner. Terrence Ross. Like he's almost shooting almost 40% from three this range this year. Let's go check out Aaron Gordon's stats. Let's see. Oh, got a second viewer. Sorry. Let's see. Aaron Gordon, power forward, fourth year. They're gonna have to make a decision. Did they already pick up his option? He's shooting a career high from three. Be interesting to kind of dive in and see what Orlando's doing different this year. But I digress. Kevon Looney, 11 points in the first half. It's going to be interesting to see what happens when Boogie Cousins comes in. But that gets me back to my point. I'd rather see a whole bunch of good players on a team and have every team have one player that's competent and watch a bunch of crappy basketball every night. Harden, isolation dribble at the top, long three, misses. Klay Thompson brings it up. Blah blah blah. Durant, like, isn't it better though in the finals? Like, yeah, it kind of sucks. I mean, last year those Western Conference Finals were really exciting. The NBA Finals sucked because you just had LeBron James and a bunch of guys who couldn't play, or just whatever. You know what I mean? They couldn't play the level that Golden State could. But now with how the way TV contracts work, people don't care as much. I mean, I guess, I don't know, whatever. Yeah, maybe locally they'll lose some fans, but they'll gain so many more people watching if they actually have more good teams. And I don't know what any other solution would be other than get rid of 4 teams. I'd rather get rid of 6 or 8. I think if they cut 8 teams, that'd be perfect. 22 teams. Maybe go with 24 teams, 12 in each conference. Top 6 make the playoffs. Then reseed it 1 through 12. Then you do your lottery. Concentrate the talent. Concentrate on national broadcasting and TV rights, because that's where, well, who knows, as we move forward, it's going to be streaming and stuff like that. Who knows where the money's going to come from? At some point, advertisers are going to start not paying so much money to advertise because people don't pay attention to advertisements anymore. It's going to be on. Man, when Houston runs, they're fun to watch. Because people just know how to block it out. They're going to have to put the advertisements on people's uniforms and stuff. Gonna make it more like a soccer thing, which I'd be fine with. Paint the court. I don't give a shit. Just don't make me watch commercials. Each half of the court could have like 2 advertisements on it, or they could just make them digital. They wouldn't have to do anything. They can minimize it at the end of games, and then or put them there during the timeouts or something. They can get creative with it. But that's still where the money's gonna be. I wonder how profitable Orlando is. Are they really worried about how many people are coming to see the games in Atlanta right now? Man, every Houston possession is just hard to do something, then throw into a corner for a 3. All right, well, enough of that. Rush concept. Contract. Leonard relentlessly booed. I guess I could have kept watching it. I can understand why San Antonio fans were upset. I know that they played their tribute video. Let's go ahead. See if I can play the sound. Huh. I don't know. Is that relentless? All right. Enough of that. Let's see here. Klay Thompson's got 19 points in the first half. Not too shabby. Yeah, right. So, only one other person in this thing right now, and they're not saying shit. So, whatever you think about, go ahead and tell me how wrong I am on the contraction. No one, I have not convinced a single person why it'd be a good idea. And I'm talking about people who don't even live in basketball markets. Everyone just gets so nervous by that. Just contract. Get fewer teams. I think football should do it too. You don't have enough good product. Why are you watering it down the rest of your product? Why are you watering it down for everybody else? Sacramento and Denver. 4-point game. 9 minutes to go in the third. Let's take a look here at some of the stats. It's nice to see Harry Giles getting some play. I've kind of always rooted for him only because 2 years ago, I think, in NBA 2K, I made an expansion team and downloaded some roster set for the draft and got Harry Giles. And this is before his freshman year at Duke, and whoever made the roster completely overestimated what his impact was going to be, and he dominated for me. It was fun. For some reason, I still have that connection and root for him just because, he did so well for me in those 9 games I played. So he's got 6 points in 7 minutes. Let's see. Aaron Fox, 9 points. Buddy Hield, Buddy Buckets. I think Buddy Buckets has got to be one of the worst nicknames. They got to come up with something better. It's kind of funny though that how well that trade turned out for Sacramento. They avoided having to pay the supermax to Cousins. They got Buddy Hield, who's obviously having a good year for them. They're above 500, 1 game above 500. Buddy's scoring 20 points a game, 2.5 assists, 5 rebounds, and seems like a mature kid. And a team that needed someone to be stable between him and De'Aaron Fox. De'Aaron Fox is fun to watch play. I'm actually going to throw that game up here in a small window. Again, Reddit is your friend. All right, here, let's take a look. Yeah, Golden State's up by 15. 2 minutes to go in the first half, so I'm going to switch over to this other game. 4-point game, third quarter. Best center in the league, Jokic, versus the surprise team. For anybody who got the opportunity to watch Sacramento when they were good in the early 2000s, that was a fun team. Here comes Giles. That was a fun team to watch, but the crowd was great too. And that is one of the things in these cities that only have one sport. Sacramento, Portland, Orlando, but I want to kill their team. I do kind of like to see the team succeed. San Antonio. All right. Now it's time to, let's see here. I want to talk about the NFL playoffs a little bit and get into some predictions. And my prediction method. All right, 538. All right, I'm using a 538. If you guys are familiar with that, that's Nate Silver's. Started that. It's an offshoot off ESPN. Started out as a political prognosticator. He usually does pretty well, but I think he took kind of a beating in 2016. I don't remember what happened that year, something crazy. But in honor of that being like his one time that, I mean, he still gets hammered for that. I don't know. I like him though. I still want to read his book about the Tampa Bay Rays. I think that was Nate Silver, Signal and the Noise. If anybody ever comes across this stream for some reason on their way to something else, and you've made it this far, I hope you have life alert and help is on the way because you probably passed out. But if you haven't and you've read Signal and the Noise and you can full function of all your body parts and you can type into the chat whether or not you like that book and whether or not I should read it, I will be fucking shocked. But anyway, I might throw this up on the screen here for a minute. Let's see here. This little... let's see here. Yeah, I think I'm going to try to show this on the screen. I'll just link it in the... I'll just link it. Basically, this is an article on how every NFL team's fans lean politically. And what he did... I'll retweet it. You can follow me on Twitter, Fantheon Sports, or at Fantheon Sports. The link's on the YouTube thing. But in honor of Nate and this thing that they put out, I am going with the Curse of Trump. And I'm picking each one of the matchups by whatever team has the most red. So, we'll start with the first game, which is Indianapolis and Houston. So, let's see here. Indianapolis is... where are they? So Indianapolis is, the partisan lean is plus 0.49 Democrat. Houston is plus 5 Republican. So Houston. Second game, Dallas hosting the Seahawks. Oh, I'm just gonna take a guess here and say I'm probably gonna be taking Dallas, but we'll check it and make sure. Check the digits. Let's see. Dallas plus 2.7 towards the Republican. Cincinnati's exactly even. And Seattle. Seattle is plus 12 Republican. Wait, I'm just kidding. Seattle is plus 14.8 to the Democrat. So, Dallas. So far, we're taking both home teams, taking Houston and Dallas. That brings us to the first game Sunday is going to be the Los Angeles Chargers versus the Baltimore Ravens. This one, without looking at it, I'm going to predict I'll be taking. Ooh, that's going to be a tough one. I think it's going to be close. I'm going to lean Baltimore. Let's see. Baltimore. There's only, oh wow, there's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 teams that lean Republican. Cincinnati right in the middle at even. So Baltimore. Well, the Rams are plus 4.1. Oh, that's the Rams. It's got to be kind of the same, right? Well, that's weird. The Chargers are plus 11.1. Democrat. I'm gonna find Baltimore. Are they too afraid to go to Baltimore and poll? San Fran, Detroit, oh, Baltimore, here we go. Plus 18 Democrat. So, Baltimore loses to the Chargers. Oh, you know, I should really make this by the spread. So, Chargers, let's see. Plus 11.1. Chargers are going to win by 7. Dallas. Dallas in a blowout is going to win by 2 plus touchdowns. Plus 16.8, we'll say. And Houston. Houston's going to win by 9. So when you guys bet these numbers, don't forget who led you here. All right, and our last game. God, I'm writing this in Sharpie. I'm getting high. Philadelphia and Chicago, 1:40 p.m. on Sunday. This is a toss-up in my head for who do I predict will be on this chart. I'm going to go with Philly, even though I think Chicago's going to win. I'm going Chicago. No, Philadelphia is going to be more Republican. That's my Philadelphia is at plus 13.9. Chicago's at plus 11.2. Wow, so Chicago by 2. All right. So let's build some scores around this. Hold on a second while I get a pen. It's not going to kill me. All right, I'm back. So we have Houston winning by 9. Whew. I kind of want to go all Chris Berman, how he used to do with Sunday. Back even before they had 2-point conversions, he'd always come up with the dumbest lines just to kind of hit the point spreads. Like, blah, 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 25 to 19. And like, literally, there was no 2-point conversions back in the day. And to get to those point totals would have been like, and extra points were basically automatic. I didn't understand it because I was too young to understand gambling. So I got Houston plus 9. I think Houston's going to put up around 27. So say Houston 27, Indy 18. We have Dallas winning in a blowout by about 17 points. I'm going to say Dallas 31, Seattle 13. Seattle's, this isn't their year, I don't think. I could see them winning the game, though. We have the Chargers. Winning by a touchdown in a revenge game. This is all for the Trump curse now. Just going at Nate Silver just because he put up this post. This is based off on a national survey of 2,300 Americans between September 1st and September 7th. So the Chargers are going to win by a touchdown. I'm going to go 24-17. I really should go all Berman. Oh, yeah, we'll go 25-18. 25-18. Let's put Dallas at 32. Seahawks at 15. Just to make it stupid. So Houston 27-18. Dallas 32. Seattle 15. The Chargers 25. Baltimore 18. And Chicago going to win a close game. And I think this is a bonus pick for Chicago. To Chicago over Philly. I think this is going to be the game with the worst call. There's going to be a call at the end of the game. It's going to be like 3rd and 17 for the Bears. They're either going to be trying to kill the clock or get in a field goal range. And they're going to get a crappy BS illegal contact. And the next thing you know, first and whatever, 3 other plays are going to happen. People are going to forget about it again. And that call is going to drive me nuts. That'll be my rant tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll try to promote this a little bit and get some people in to talk about it. But NFL officiating is driving me nuts. There's just a legal contact shouldn't be an automatic first down. So it's horse shit. So Chicago's going to win by 2 on a crappy call. And we got to Berman this. 18-16. 16 is kind of 15-13. No. 13-11. Yes. 13. Philly 11. Even though I'm kind of rooting for Foles, I just want to see the chaos what will happen if Foles wins a playoff game or two. All right, so we'll go over this again here really quick. The curse of Trump. I'm going to put this on Twitter, too. I'm not going to put anything on there about Trump because I don't want to get murdered. Not political. I don't give a shit. All right, Houston, +9. 27. Indy, 18. Dallas, +16. And 0.8 points, something like that. I didn't do the math perfect, but we're gonna go Dallas 32, Seattle 15. In the rematch game from a couple weeks ago, LA Chargers going on the road to Baltimore. It's gonna be like a home game for LA, winning 25, Baltimore 18. And in the low scoring BS game of the week, Chicago Bears are gonna win a close one. Don't ask me how. Philly would have gotten to 11 points, and the Bears will have 10, and they'll kick the field goal to win it. On a Mitch Trubisky overthrow, we'll say, doesn't even matter. She'll make a bad overthrow, but there'll be it'll be a pick. He's going to rip out the Philly Hearts. He's going to throw an interception at some point in the game that'll get called back on an illegal contact. And it won't be the last play of the game. It won't directly affect it, but you'll know. It'll have done enough to the flow of the game to put the Bears up 13-11. And then, I should have written all this stuff down. The next week, well, we'll see how this goes, and maybe we'll come up with a different technique, a different curse. Maybe we'll go by, I don't know. We'll have to figure something out. A different curse to pick the method. But for this first week, we're gonna go Trump curse in honor of 538 putting this on, and it's literally right on the playoff scoreboards or whatever. Go to ESPN.com. God, listen to Stephen A. Smith After Dark podcast. I unload on the NFL coach firings. Yeah, I listened to that this morning. If it's the same one that is the same unloading he did. And I actually don't dislike Stephen A. Smith as much as I used to. And I agreed with some of the stuff he said, that every coach deserved to be fired. And that in a lot of those situations, the fact that the GM got to keep their job is kind of BS. And I do think that he thought Wilkes in Arizona should have been fired. Probably shouldn't have been hired, honestly, but I don't understand how you can fire a coach after 1 year unless they're just a complete train wreck, showing up late to meetings. Patricia, antagonizing the media. I don't know. I just didn't hear about any of that coming out from Wilkes. Didn't seem like he was underqualified or under-equipped to do the job. That team was atrocious. And I just don't think he got a fair shake. But that's just me. But anyway, I'm going to sign off for the night. Been doing this for a little bit over an hour. Had one viewer in. Thanks, that guy. Wandered in here for about 40 minutes and probably woke back up. But we'll try to figure out how to promote this some more and try to get some people to call in and give their opinions. All right, later.